Now, Mr. Miguel Portas, for 2.5 minutes.
Obrigado, Sr. Presidente, caros colegas.
Thank you very much, President, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't believe that in the context of this budget that we can talk about the trees and lose sight of the wood, you know. I think I can be frank here. Without this crisis, this budget would be very differently formed to the way it is now, but we know that that isn't the case. And that's really a decisive issue. That's something that we need to look at. The rapporteur, or rather the report, will be voted on Thursday. And we're here that people aren't prepared to stump up the money to counter the crisis. The structural funds, the cohesion funds are not being stocked up at the precise time when the crisis is here. It's upon us. And in the future, nothing seems to be planned to deal with the priorities such as climate change, that they should be dealt with properly. We've heard the criticisms from the rapporteurs and from Jutta Haug as well. There are big differences between the commitments and the payments, and many lines are set below the margins that are set out. Now, we don't know if the money that we're putting on the line is going to be spent properly or not. So how can this House agree on this sort of budget? How can we even vote on this? It's something I'm wondering. I do get the impression that the Parliament is the weaker arm of the budgetary authority. You know, who pays the bill calls the tune. And we need to talk about the future as well. In the course of the coming year, the Europeans are going to have to change their budgets quite considerably. They're going to be big changes that they'll have to deal with. And I think it's quite simple. We have a crisis that we're experiencing at the moment. There'll be other crises in the future. But in the current crisis, everybody is trying to get efficiencies in their budgets. Now, how can a European budget be well appointed? And who will be paying for this? Well, the ones who've always paid for that. The unemployed, for example, or the people who are not in a safe job. The European Union will then become part of the problem and not part of the solution. And the European Union will only be able to act once it pays the bills that have to be paid. And I don't think we will manage to combat the crisis if we continue in this vein. Unless there is justice, we won't be able to work things out. And this is why the left is calling for a radical change here. We'd like to see in the next level of planning something completely different. We don't want to see another budget that still doesn't take into consideration the needs and requirements of the citizens and combat climate change.
It's too long. We must keep time. I'm very sorry, colleague. It was very interesting, but still it's necessary to keep time. Pani Marta
Now, Madam Marta Andreasen, for 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen,